Yeah,
sa
tama.
GX.
afternoon. I would like to call this special board meeting for the Rockcastle County Board of Education to order. The first thing is to let the roll call note that all members are present either via Zoom or here. Item 3 on our agenda is to adopt the agenda. There can be no changes to this, so I just need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, saying aye. Aye. Okay, and we are here to review and approve the Rockcastle County Schools mask mandate. This is a time for discussion. We'd like to hear what everyone has to say. Anyone have any comments, recommendations? Our current mandate is that students and staff have their mask on during their school hours and at other events
within any school building.
So we are here to discuss changing that. So I'd like to start with Miss Angie.
Sure. I think I have thought about this, prayed about this, thought about it some more, and I have asked several of my colleagues. Most people know I'm a physician assistant in the county, so I'm very familiar with COVID. And I do think that at this time, based upon all the information we have, and I have it with me, some of it, and then there's now access to vaccine from 5 up, that I do think that we could go to mask optional. The only thing that does make me nervous is the new variant. We don't know a lot about it yet. It is in the States. But I do think we can do mask optional. Most schools are. Most schools in Kentucky. I don't know the exact number. But seems like the rates have not really changed all that much based upon not masking. I do urge vaccination from 5 up. That is our best method of controlling this pandemic. Masking is important, but I do think at this time, if you can get a vaccination, then that's a choice a parent can make. My only caveat is if something changes and we need to go back to masking, that the board has that right to reinstate it. That's what I have.
Thank you, Ms. Angie. Do you have anything?
No, she's a professional with the medical, and I think if she can approve that, I think that we should. And also just the parent emails and things that's asking for parent choice. I think that makes a difference as well.
Sure. Mr. Hammond, what would you like to say about this?
I'd like to a little clarification. I have something to say, but I want to make sure that I understood the comment there. So we're in support from Ms. Woods' support of making masks optional at across the board at school and events as well.
Yes.
Okay, I can go with that. I support that.
All right.
I would like to hear from Ms. Ballinger though.
Yes.
Right. I have spoken to each of you all individually. I'm going to take this off just so you all can hear me better. So the issue that we have right now, or what's our policy that's in place right now, is that masking is a mandate within all school buildings as long as our county is in the red or the orange. Well, I think all of us realize we've never made it out of the orange. We've spent a couple days in orange, but we typically have been living within the red zone. Our actual quarantine numbers and positive cases of COVID, we have seen a decrease. And since we have implemented the test to stay program, that's been very positive. We've been able to keep quarantined kids and staff in school as needed. The issue that I see right now that we're encountering, and I'm basing this on parent comment and staff comment, is we are doing a pretty great job of mandating masks within the school day and on the school buses. Our issue comes in the evening when we have extracurricular activities or we have basketball games and we're having fans coming from different counties. We're having lots of great attendance, but we're not masking at those events. So whatever we decide, I think it's important for us to be consistent. If we're going to be requiring masks during the school day, then we need to be doing the same in the evenings. And if we choose to make that optional, then again, that'll alleviate that evening issue that we're experiencing. But I do think the consistency piece is very important.
So, Ms. Ballinger, we will have to keep the mask on while children are on the bus, correct?
That is correct. That is a federal mandate, so that is something that we do not have control over or over the school busing.
Okay.
Yes.
And I just want to be clear on a couple of things. The American Academy of Pediatrics and the CDC still recommend masking inside at all times for children and people in schools. And I have debated that heavily, but I do think that at this time, again, with the availability of vaccine, parent choice, and our numbers, that we can still go mask optional. I just wanted to make that clear, though, that it's still recommended and you can still do it if you're wanting your kid to go with a mask. It's not taking them away; it's just making them optional.
And I think a key change that, as Ms. Angie has stated, that we need to note is now every family does have the option for vaccination. You know, when we originally passed this, that was only eligible for our older students and not our younger. So that is a change worth noting, that now our student population from 5 on is eligible to be vaccinated if a parent so chooses.
And Ms. Ballinger, if I might ask too, what did the board attorney have to say about your thoughts on this?
That this is a board decision for us to determine, that it's basically comes down to whatever you all feel is best for our county. It is a local decision now.
Okay. Well, with that said, it appears that everyone's in agreement. I'd make the motion that that's the case. That's optional.
With Mr. Hammond making that motion's on the floor. Before we, second or vote, I'd just like to say that I value your opinion, Angie. That's the reason I wanted you to, I was curious how you felt, being in the profession you are. And, another thing that I have asked Ms. Carey, if we do approve this, I think it's very important that we send something home to parents besides just our website, some type of paper for parents to know that vaccinations are available, and maybe even give them a list of places where they can go. So, a lot of parents, maybe if they have that in their hand, they'll stick it on the refrigerator, and it will be something that will.
And any questions, they can call the hospital, the health department, me. You know, they can call. I know there's a lot of questions when it hits to your children. And I agree with you, Angie. And I also think, again, make sure that they know that they can still wear a mask. This isn't a not.
Yes, and we need to make sure they are aware of that.
And I think it's very important. There's a new variant on the horizon. If we have to revoke this, that we can do that.
Yeah, I wanted to make that comment as well, because, you know, this of course is uncharted territory, and, you know, 3 weeks to 4 weeks from now, if we start experiencing high numbers of quarantines or we start experiencing staff shortages, you know, we may have to come back together to reconsider this decision.
I saw Miss Jenny come in. Did she bring those other numbers just for us to have a comparison?
Yeah. Could you report out,
One
Mr. Reverend?
one other item that we need to make sure, I just want to pass along, and someone brought it to my attention even if we were discussing this topic. The requirement at ATC is different.
Yes, it is.
We don't control that, and you know, the masks are required at ATC, I believe. And the students that go to ATC will have to wear a mask while they're there. But we need to make sure that everyone understands that as well.
Yes, we will make certain that in our messaging that is made known to parents, and that's discussion that Mr. Sherman and I have had previously. And, you know, that will be difficult, especially since we're on one campus, for our high school students to transition from one hallway to another and masks be required in one part and not the other. So, you know, that will be something that we'll have to work through at the high school.
Yeah, it will likely cause a few issues for Mr. Cook.
Yes, great.
Mr. Hammond, does your district, is it mask optional at this time?
In Gallatin County?
Yes.
No, currently, you know, for some time ago, we approved, not we, I didn't approve it. The board approved red was the color.
Yeah.
Following red, we would wear masks. We were out of masks for quite some time because the county was orange. It's back red. It's currently in the red zone, so we're wearing masks. But at the athletic event, we're not necessarily enforcing that. I mean, but if the school system itself during the day is still following the guidance while it's ready.
Thank you.
But that was approved some time ago. I mean, that was, I don't know, a couple months ago.
All right. Mr. Repper, do you have those numbers?
I do. From the start of school until September 16th, we had 493 quarantines, 80 positives as a student. September 17th through October 8th, 223 quarantines, 70 positives. October 9th through October 31st, 48 quarantines, 14 positives. So we hit it. The October was really good. I think we saw that in the community. That's when we did go to orange for a few days. We've seen a little bit of uptick in November. 71 quarantines, 22 positives. Just to give you an idea, today we have 27 students quarantined. That's been fairly typical. The last couple of weeks we've had in the 20s, it might have got to 31 or 32 a day or two there. But that's been pretty steady, that number of students each day quarantined. And some students are quarantined for different times depending on the situation, circumstance, weekends, and some of them will do the 5 day. After 5 days, they can do the PCR and come back on the 7th day. So all that's a little bit different depending on where they're at. But we've definitely seen huge improvement from August, but a little bit of an uptick the last couple of weeks.
Well, the motion on the floor, Mr. Hammond made, is for us to make the mask optional. And I have that motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Uh,
Okay.
Can you real quick, if I could say something
Sure.
before we
I'm
adjourn?
sorry.
No, it's good. I think it's important, to the parents to make sure that they talk to the kids. I'm all about emotional support. Some kids are gonna feel safer in a mask. And just to make sure that, parents are communicating, hey, not to, I hate to use the word bully, but,
Sure.
don't tease or anything like that, and everybody can make the decision for themselves.
Most definitely.
And Ms. Terry, I'm sorry, when will this go into effect? As
That
of
was,
Monday?
that's just exactly what I was getting ready to bring up. Is the board comfortable with this going into effect on Monday?
I am.
Yes.
We will work this afternoon then to get that message out, and I'll share that with our staff, and then we will work to move forward and share that with our families on our social media and on our website.
And just for clarification, it's optional for everyone regardless of vaccination status. That's correct.
Yes.
And everybody's on the same page and understanding
Yes,
that.
but we do, I believe we're in agreement that we would like to have something sent home to every student about details about the vaccination so that parents may be made aware. A lot of parents of smaller children may not know that that's available.
That's right.
I would feel comfortable in doing
I
that.
agree.
Opportunities.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll work to put that out.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.